Hello, divine feminines. This is going to be a reading for you, but divine masculines, you are also welcome, okay? I do have the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy out, but I do feel more confident today to channel the divine feminine because she is looking at me and I'm really drawn to that vibration. And I do have the cards out for the divine masculine, and there's a lot more going on here with him. And I see him in the receiving pose, let's say, in a reciprocal energy. So actually, me channeling the divine feminine would actually be beneficial for the divine masculine to receive the message, really. But also the divine feminine, it will be nice for you to kind of hear your side of the story from someone else, from me narrating it to you, okay? The divine feminine that I'm connecting with at this time, you are extremely spiritual, extremely gifted. You are really noticing numbers around you at this time, 777 standing out here. And I see a tower moment. So I see that something's happened. I am going to go in with the tarot and loads of other decks, but I want to start off with a little channel, and I just want to warm our energy up, okay? I have been guided for the last 2 days now. Like, the energy's been pulling at me like, come on, I need a divine masculine, divine feminine message. And I don't often feel called to do these. So this is significant for someone out there who really wants to receive one of these, okay? Love you guys. Let's go, shall we? So I'm looking at a really empowering, developing spiritual being, a divine feminine, okay? Fairies, Atlantis, the light worker, starseed, rainbow, indigo. I mean, you're working on yourself. You probably have a tarot channel, someone I'm connecting with, a lot of crystals, crystal shop, crystal healing. Why am I getting meth? Meth. For me, meth's a drug and it's not a good thing, so let me know what that is. Also, I'm getting methane gas. Yeah, that's confirmation for someone out there. Also, some feminines working on their throat chakra. Some throat chakra therapy, throat chakra classes. Something very, very much rooted in the vocal speaking up and speaking out. But a lot of spiritual divine feminines. Lovely to have you on board, gorgeous feminines. Now, the card coming out here is Jane Austen. And the message on the back is, there is a stubbornness about me that can never bear to be frightened or threatened at the will of others. My courage always rises at every attempt to intimidate me. Now, this is Sagittarius energy coming in here. But what happens when this card comes out, what this says to me is, we're looking at a very stubborn feminine, okay? And this isn't a judgmental point of view. This is Jane Austen. I mean, the classic books that Jane Austen writes, this life story of Jane Austen, a very empowering, gorgeous feminine who didn't conform to standardized ways of doing things and had extremely high standards. And love stories that weren't the easiest to tell, I guess. So we're going to have a look at your love story with this divine masculine. And this divine masculine, interestingly enough, is going through a lot, okay? He's got the most cards out so far, and we've just begun. We do have other readings on the channel, and sometimes the amount of cards that come out really do signify what's going on. And the masculines never come out with this much cards. So right now, wherever you're at in the cycle, if you are separated and distant, I would absolutely confirmation here saying the masculine is going through so much at this time. Total rebuild, total repair, real. I want to say it's difficult, but I don't even want to say it's difficult. I want to say it's compulsory, and I want to say it's destined, and I want to say that this is an inevitable part of the journey. Yeah, because I see the masculine battling with pride and ego here. I see the masculine overcoming some kind of karmic debt that's gone on. I'm also looking at heavy vibrations of depression and stress and just a really grey cloud. Yeah. it's difficult to look at this energy, you know, because I'm seeing a really grey cloud around the masculine, but the masculine being too much in his pride and ego to own that grey cloud. And then in my head, I'm getting the Disney TV show Encanto, with the woman who just easily gets stressed and then suddenly she gets the cloud above her head, and then it's raining and then it's thunderstorming, and whatever the energy is, it's all displayed above her head and she makes the weather happen. It's kind of, the masculine is trying so hard to deal with his internal self, and he's trying to persevere through whatever's gone on here. This has been incredibly difficult. In the middle of this whole situation is not a karmic energy, thank God, because the last two readings we had really heavy karmic vibrations, but now we're looking at Kali Ma in the center of all of this, and that's just saying the only thing blocking this connection now is fear. Not only that, but there is forgiveness at the bottom of the deck here, and that's a lot of throat chakra, third eye energy as well. And the masculine is coming out with a lot of root chakra energy. So if you are the masculine engaging, hiya, thank you for tuning in. I would really suggest your root chakra is really going through major repair. You're starting from the ground up in regards to your chakra healing. So your root chakra is really coming into alignment. You've really got to work on that grey cloud vibration. So when I say that, I'm talking about the moments where you start to get really heavy in the head and feel shit and overburdened with thoughts about all of this feminine drama, yeah? Because we've got the third eye here to the point where you are seeing clearly, but you're still ungrounded, so you can't really make a move or do anything because you are ungrounded. But then we've got all of this heart chakra energy. Your heart is open and you are persevering and you are moving forward with love, and your card, gorgeously enough, is Martin Luther King. And this message is so divine for the masculine. I've got to say, it's, I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. How beautiful is that of a message? We've got the divine feminine over here who's looking in the opposite direction from the masculine, who's so stubborn and closed off and working on herself spiritually, really evolving and ascending. Whatever this feminine's doing is pretty incredible, to be fair. The masculine, however, is doing such incredible inner work, and it's all related to heart healing, heart repair, heart chakra energy, and overcoming whatever this is. Now, when I say depression, I probably should say that more loosely because it is more than that. I've just thrown a label on a whole bundle of emotions and feelings and thoughts and life experiences that sometimes just make shit really heavy for us in the mind space. And we've got to navigate through all of that to come out at the other end and just genuinely feel lighter about life and day to day and our obligations, and feel confident in the decisions that we're making, you know? Because I see a masculine standing up, owning how he feels in his power, giving his heart to the collective. Yeah, very specific, like in some way, shape or form someone is standing up and speaking out and owning their heart space. This could be something more on social media or to a community, to a group, or a big announcement made to others that maybe the feminine isn't even aware of, because I see a masculine, maybe this masculine is well recognized on social media, even on TV, or a public figure, because there's so much speech going on. And on the surface, he's just following his heart. But then we've got quite an independent, somewhat isolated feminine energy. And then there's this adventure in the middle that both of these two can go on. But Kali Ma's sitting there going, are you brave enough? Have we transmuted enough of the old energy for this to manifest? You know? So let's look into this, shall we? Let's go in, first of all, with a little bit of TV tarot, because I am interested to see what this is going to say from a more modernized standpoint. Okay, we're looking at, straight away, the Grudge, yeah? Which is the devil card in tarot, but we're talking about holding a grudge. I'm going to get more. I don't want to talk too much on that until I say, oh, look at this. Okay, I'm really getting a very interesting energy here around some kind of horror show. This could be specific. Someone could be producing their own horror show, or literally someone's life story has been a shit show or horror show. Something awful's gone on. There was a major situation, a major event that resulted in potentially an incident, injury, death, losses, upsets, surgery for someone as well here. Something's gone on that's kind of affected the feminine, but it's been seen by the masculine. I'm looking at so many different stuff here for the feminine. It looks quite traumatic, I've got to be honest. So I'm working out how to word it for the whole collective to receive. So stay with me here, right? Some kind of judgment call in a very difficult situation that was somewhat traumatic for the feminine. It looks like it was rooted in a loving connection and in this relationship with this masculine and her trust in her intuition. But I mean, the feminine's gone through something unbelievable, because I'm looking at really, really heavy toxic energy that has to be thawed out, worked through over really lengthy periods of time. This could be years, months. This could be contractual agreements, legalities, obligations, divorce, pregnancy. Whatever it is, there was so much time restraint around this, and there was the feminine is kind of stuck in some kind of energy or vibration that was unjust. It could have been karmic, could have been karmic debts, could have been ancestral curses kind of energy, but there was something holding the feminine prisoner, bound, at least mentally, I want to say cognitively, at least in the mind space, at least in regards to belief systems, the feminine was bound here. Maybe you're trapped in an old relationship, in an old marriage, or something toxic here. This has been seen by the masculine. And the feminine's just been moving forward, dealing with this. Let's look at what's gone on for the masculine. Wow. The masculine has just been watching this situation. Just watching what's going on. Now, this could be someone in your social circle, friends group. Like, they would have to be consecutively around you to see all of this. Unless you're very public on social media, if someone who lives close by, lives on your street, goes to the same events you do, is in the same social circle as you, calls you on the phone, you talk to them quite frequently. Like, there's separation in this. So this could be someone who's separated and your partner comes around a couple times to see the kids. Like, there is them stepping into your world, you stepping into their world, and then you both go in your separate ways. But what you're seeing each other go through as you merge worlds every now and then, it's like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. Whatever this feminine has been going through, it has been triggering the masculine into transformation and growth. The masculine has changed like 4 times already in major ways in regards to evolution, vibrationally evolving, ascending because of this. Every time he sees this feminine go through this countdown and evolution, because what I see is this feminine is highly spiritual. She's cycling through some kind of ascension here. I'm seeing affinity symbols back and forth of some destined event, intuitive awareness, smart choices, independent judgments through real trials and tribulations that have spanned out over years, decades, a lot of time here. But the feminine has her own agenda and her own clear sight and vision. She's moving through all of these heavier vibrations, transmuting whatever negative energy this is, coming back round to resolve the situation and ascend. She's actually outrightly ascending over and over again through whatever this is. Fascinating vibration here. But then the masculine although he's got so much more going on in regards to the chakra alignment and his ascension spiritually, because he's not as spiritually evolved as the feminine, in the 3D, he's got a lot less going on. He's just evolving rapidly as he's watching the feminine evolve so rapidly in the 3D. Yet spiritually, in regards to her chakras, she's got one card out. She's incredibly aligned. She's balanced. She's well ascended. She's highly evolved. She's in her power seat. It's fascinating because actually she's in her power seat, he's in his power seat, but what their power seats look like is the polarity of each other, because they are yin and yang, right? Is this the whole story of the twin flame journey and masculine and feminine and the journey itself? Because it looks like it to me. Let's look at the fear-based vibration in the middle then, which seems to be the only common denominator here. The feminine has worked through something profound. New girl showing up as well, letting me know a new woman, a new sense of self, a new level up in life. Then we've got Two of Cups coming out with the Queen of Cups. We're looking at a lot of love, a lot of emotion here. Like, funny enough, that's coming out on what's on top of the fears, didn't it? I'm digging into the fears of this and what's preventing both of these guys to make that change. 555 coming out here. What's preventing these two from making this change? And it's fear-based vibrations. Someone's worried about their money, not having enough money. Concerns about having each other's back. Something to do with the back. In my head, I'm getting like books, binders, the back of something. This is a very scary situation, I feel, for the masculine and the feminine to move towards this. Because the feminine's gone through something incredibly intense and difficult. And as a result, the masculine has been cycling through this from an observer's standpoint. And although the feminine is well experienced at dealing with this, it isn't an easy thing to observe and see anyone to go through. And the masculine has gone through that in his own way, observing all of this. It's fascinating. There's also Seven of Swords energy here and Seven of Wands energy here and a bit of Five of Wands. So I'm seeing some stuff on social media. This is my catfish card. So we're looking at social media accounts and catfishing energy, the strain of showing up on social media, but also in person. So drinks, gatherings, nights out, when everyone's getting together and you know you're going to go and they're going to be there. There's this awkwardness. I mean, the last time you could have seen each other, there could have been a lot of tears and crying, or something about the eyes, or the way that the eyes looked, or when you looked into each other's eyes, something like that that's left a little bit of angst, I guess, or worry, or confusion, or there's Five of Wands here is conflict, but in this deck it's gossip. It's the gossip card, and it's like other people talking about this, and it's not in a negative way. It's not like a really heavy gossip vibration I get, or like bitching. It's just your names have been brought up in conversation and in context to everything that's going on. The conversation is getting a little bit more frequent, heated, misconstrued. Yeah, let me go in with the tarot. Yeah, let's have a little look here. What more do we need to know? Four of Swords coming out straight away, talking about a period of rest. Yeah, which seems to be what's going on here, because the fear-based energy is in the middle, and we're putting that on top of that straight away. So we've got the divine masculine and feminine in a resting position. Okay, what more do we need to know here? What are they resting from? Funny enough, destiny, Wheel of Fortune. I mean, the Four of Swords is here. I mean, it's not easy to get towards your destiny, is it? So we've got the divine masculine and the divine feminine taking a rest from their destiny, because there's only so long you can keep turning that wheel around in pursuit of the truth. I mean, in the back of the mind, we're looking at 6 of swords here. So there, I mean, 8 of swords, sorry. So we're looking at kind of self-imposed bondage, entrapment. So there's all this fear coming through, but in the front of the mind there's Ace of Pentacles. This is a brand new beginning for the masculine and the feminine. They both know that this is a destined connection, but they are both extremely fearful of this. This is someone that you've known from the past and you have a deeper connection with. It's someone from your social circle. I really get, like, I'll get that you would go out with all your mates and they would come out too, for most of you. Yeah. And there's just this issue about rushing in. Someone always used to rush in and be the front and center forward. That could be football reference there. But it's kind of like no one wants to do that anymore. Like, everyone's just waiting. There's this need for balance and absolute reassurance. And I guess everyone's just trying to get their heart rate back down to where it needs to be. Because this looks like it's been a situation that has escalated out of nowhere and triggered a lot of people and created a lot of worry and insecurity around emotion and emotional expression and giving and receiving and owning your heart space, you know. And it is a really, really passionate new beginning. I can't tell you when this is going to come in or how it's going to come in or how things are going to play out, because we all have free will, and these are just general collective messages, okay? Collective. But I do want you to know that feminine, you've been through a lot. It's incredible to see how you've overcome this. The masculine sees all that you've been through, and he is filled with so much love for you and your unique journey that you've been on. He's working on himself intently from an internal standpoint, because he isn't spiritually as evolved as you and as enlightened as you in regards to all the stuff that's going on in the higher realms. I mean, in relation to just higher frequency, because he's really grounded in the 3D, whereas you are integrating some kind of 3D and higher self vibration. Like when I love to talk about 7Ders, like you're really working with higher consciousness and higher frequency so much more. The High Priestess is at the bottom of the deck looking at me. You are probably clairvoyant, clairaudient. You know about clear senses. You do stuff, Queen. You do stuff. And I know you do stuff. It's all over here. You've been through a lot. And when your destiny is like your destiny is, yeah, it's overwhelming. My voice is even cracking trying to say it. But you've been through something really difficult. It's not easy to be you and do what you do and own your spiritual gifts and abilities and still move forward and find a counterpart that can embrace that and accept that. And being a clairvoyant, I'll speak from experience. It's not easy to find the right partner and date and get out there when you know that you can see prophecy and you can see so much about a person, and sometimes you wish you couldn't, you know, and you wish you didn't know what you knew, and that you could just sometimes have a normal life where you didn't see so deeply. But that's your gift, and that's the journey that you're on, and you're learning. And actually, you're learning to be more fearless about your gifts and abilities and how that plays out in romantic connections. And this masculine is so in love with the spiritual realm and spirituality and wants to be so much more spiritual. So all of your gifts and abilities is a real turn on and fascination for the masculine. He admires that. He loves that. It's just such a... I feel like he's manifested that. That is the kind of ideal feminine that he wanted, someone that attuned. But you know, when you get what you ask for, be careful what you wish for, collective, because you never know what you're going to get when you get it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm being really guided to share this with you guys, okay? For example, I met someone online, and I went on an online. I just met them on an app and went on a date with them. Met them in person. When I met them in person, I straight away, as a medium clairvoyant, I had one of their passed on loved ones coming through. That's not an easy thing to deal with, and it's not easy to find the right balance when you're sitting there on your first date with someone and suddenly their passed on relative is in the room and present and would love for you to pass some messages on to them. I mean, that's an example of what it means to be clairvoyant and be a medium in today's society, trying to date online and find someone to be with. It's where's the boundaries, where's the line, how do we do this? And I hope that resonates with whoever this feminine is. I don't know if you're clairvoyant or what your gifts are, but you are gifted and in tune, and you are going through similar experiences. And this masculine who's been in your life a long time by the looks of things, you could have been with them in the past. It could be an ex here, or someone you've just been dating on and off. It could have been a serious ex that you've left. I mean, there's so much different stories for all of you, but they've seen the journey that you've gone on. They've seen your spiritual evolution. They've seen you change over time and become more and more gifted. And as thrilling and as exciting as that is, it is scary and overwhelming. And it's the idea that nobody ever really knows what kind of bombs you're going to drop, you know? What prophecy or wisdom or insight you're going to share, or what divine thing you're going to do next. And that leaves you fearful of how much you share with the rest of the world and the collective and your masculine. But it makes your masculine a bit fearful of he's going to be able to continuously evolve with you throughout the rest of your lifetime. In this lifetime, can I keep up with her? Can I keep evolving to her rate? Because she is rapidly ascending. What if I can't keep ascending at the rate that she's ascending at, and I go forward and move to this, but then she just evolves so much faster and over my head, then she just leaves me after all of this? There's that fear vibration of being left in the dust after establishing something so sacred, which is potentially what makes this look like it's a non-starter, because it's like, the ascension and the independence of the feminine is so surreal, I wanted to say surreal, so I've got to be honest, it's so surreal how divine and ascended the feminine is here, that it leaves the masculine in awe, but also then unsure whether or not he can actually ascend at that same vibration. So I feel like he's working on that ascension in secret and doing whatever he can to meet that milestone and meet those marks, but there is no guarantee until the two come together and do explore this. And the only reason I feel like this is such a big deal, because the energy is gorgeous and light and it should be simple, but I feel like whatever history is rooted in this goes back years. This goes back to past trauma. The twin flame journey is an incredible thing, and it is about the self and self-discovery and becoming aligned to one's truest self. But here, we're looking at the trauma and the life story of the feminine here, played out and mirrored back to the masculine, which then is inciting all of this evolution and growth amongst them, which is a difficult thing to deal with. So let me see if there's anything that's going to help us close this energy out, because we've really gone around here and we've looked at the dynamic here as much as we can. Any messages for the collective to support them through this situation? Okay, this is a heart-based reading. Main thing coming out is the heart chakra again, saying the love is there. This is not an issue about whether or not that you love each other, okay? So if you need a confirmation on whether or not the love's there and the love's mutual, the love's there. It's not about that. Goodness gracious me, the love is there. The desire for a new beginning together is also there. The deep-rooted connection that you both feel is also there. But there is someone who is feeling like they can't move forward with this at this time, because there is still a lot of baggage, still a lot that needs to be worked through. Someone may need to travel for a long period of time, and someone may also need to work on some kind of addiction or drinking problem as well here. I'm going to say that's only specific for those of you who know that your partner is suffering with a drinking problem, or you know that your partner is also needing to travel and go long distances for whatever reason and be away for chunks of time. And that's what's keeping you separated as well, because even if you were to come together, they have to go away to deal with whatever this distance is. And then also someone is working through healing their drink problem. Very specific. You are being guided here to keep being the strong feminine that you are in the situation. For the masculine, you are being guided to remember to have a laugh and a joke and bring more fun into your reality. The masculine, interesting, the masculine isn't having as much fun as the feminine, because the feminine is just falling into the 3D by living authentically from her spiritual self. Let me know if this makes sense, guys, because I'm really trying hard to break this down, right? But because the feminine's so spiritual, she lives freely, like she's the kind of fool in tarot. She's always going to just jump on the cliff and take a risk. A little bit wild, but she's really elegant and graceful. I don't even see wild energy, but I mean, it may appear to be wild on the surface in the 3D, but because she's so grounded spiritually, it's not even a wild choice whatsoever. I mean, this person is a high priestess. They're spiritually gifted, so the choices that they're making are coming from a much higher perspective or consciousness or frequency that it may look absurd to the 3D, but it's not. It's well calculated in the other dimensions, right? If you get it, you get it. Whereas the masculine's not so much in that vibration, so I feel like he worries about the feminine and sees all this going on with the feminine and doesn't really know how to navigate through that without having more fear-based energies about the feminine, and how he has to evolve and grow spiritually and ground himself for all of this to work. Whereas he's actually already aligned. He's meant to be the grounder in the situation. She's meant to be the spiritual beacon in the situation. And both of them together, coming together, would allow the opposite to rub off on each other and strengthen each other's through each other's lack. And I wouldn't even want to call it lack, because it clearly isn't that. But I mean, what's the word? Equal exchange, energy exchange, giving. Yeah? It's a situation if the feminine has all these spiritual gifts she can share with the masculine to help the masculine evolve, whereas the masculine has all these grounded 3D attributes that would help the feminine evolve. Together they're perfectly aligned, but independently they're trying to be every man and every woman within inside themselves before they stand beside each other. Wow. I don't know what to say to you guys now. I'm going to say just rest. This is destiny, and whatever's destined for you will never pass you by. You will never miss it. So this is a check-in to let you know where you're at and where the masculine's at, and you're both working on yourself intently at this time, resting. You both know that this is destined. And this is where we're at on the journey. Feel free to share more in the comments.